Welcome to another episode of Outside Shots. I'm Saul Bookman with my man EJ, Eddie Johnson. Waves to everybody. People on audio can't see that. Eddie. Hi. All right. Mid-season form, as we can see. We got a lot to get into today. It's going to be kind of a palate cleanser, if you will, because we don't really have a lot of NBA talk today. So we're going to throw a couple things at the wall and see what sticks. I'm sure something's going to stick, and it's probably going to be in the second segment, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But we finally had a little bit of some visuals of the Suns getting together, working out at an undisclosed location. I'm sure somebody knows where this is at, but I don't. So you see Devin walking out.
Let me see. It's not Phoenix.
It's not NAU. I don't think that's NAU.
Well, it's on a campus.
Maybe it's USC.
It's on a campus.
Maybe it's in LA.
It's in California, man. Come on, look at it. Look at it walking. Like in Phoenix, you don't walk that slow when it's 111 degrees.
That's true.
You're trying to get the heck up out of here.
That's true.
So,
but then, that was
they're
Devin
cruising.
Booker,
Look, they're cruising.
Here comes Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal just walked by. And credit to the guy that did this video. If you haven't seen it, you can just go to Twitter. It's everywhere. But the guy was very respectful. He wasn't bombarding these guys. He knew that they were coming out, but he was super cool about it. But you see Bol coming out. That's Kevin Young, the assistant coach, is coming out along with them. So it looks like the coaches. Miles Simon comes out a little bit later. Listen, I think this is a tremendous thing. In addition to that, finally, to kind of squash all the rumors about DA not working out with his guys. Later on in this video, DeAndre Ayton does show up, and so he was working out with the fellas, and hey, it's really dope. Also, that was a little bear down action there for all you Wildcat fans. So listen, there goes DA coming out of there. So hey, listen, I think this is good that
now they're not in Phoenix.
No,
you're not coming out with your shirt off in Phoenix.
No,
because
yeah.
Come on, I play golf all the time. I'm getting dark as I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? So no way you doing that. No, look, I wish we had video back in our day. This is not unusual. This is not unusual at all. Historically, players, teammates get together, they work out, they go play. That's our livelihood. That's all we knew, play ball. So it's not, I know people look at it and no, yes, the camaraderie and all of that, great. But this has gone on forever, especially with the very good teams, the teams that really have ambition, have good leadership. It's been going on forever.
Okay.
And so I'm not shocked by it. And, obviously California is the place to be during the off season. That's where I was because I first started my career in Kansas City. I was in LA training, playing with Magic every day, and playing ball at UCLA. So it's what they do, man. And I think they're on a mission too, though.
Yeah,
I agree with that. There's a lot of pressure on this team this year.
Yeah.
When you have 3 world-class basketball players on one team, and then DeAndre Ayton is capable of becoming a 4th, at a high level, you have expectations, and so I'm not shocked.
I'm glad you kind of mentioned that about the expectations. There is no way in the world that this team doesn't have a weight on its shoulders from these expectations, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Especially within that group, they understand what's on the line. There's a lot of money that's being paid to a lot of these players. They have maxed out everything roster wise and cap wise, and the expectation is that they're going to bring a championship at some point within the next couple of years, and that's an expectation. That's not, and you can't try to skew this any which way. You can't try to put it off and say, people don't expect this and they don't expect this from this player and whatever, and so people are underestimated. No, this team is not being underestimated. I think a lot of people don't think that they can win the championship. Not a lot of people, but there's a group of people out there that don't think that the Suns are the favorites to win the championship, and that's fine. That's always debatable as to who's the favorite, but to say that there's no expectation and there's no pressure on these guys is ridiculous. I think they absolutely have pressure on them to win a title. Like, they have to win a title in the next couple years. And I think it's okay. I think they embrace that challenge. I know Devin Booker and KD do. I know Bradley Beal does. I think this group has been there. They've had expectations for the last 3 or 4 years. And now they're in a position where they can actually capitalize on that expectation and hopefully raise a banner for the first time in franchise history.
Look, that's why you play. I mean, you grow up, you love the game. That's all you know. Your place, your sanctuary is between the lines. 2 baskets. That's the beautiful part about basketball. It doesn't take a lot to engineer a game. There's 2 baskets, man. 2 baskets and draw some lines. And if you don't have any lines, go out there with chalk like I used to do back in the day and draw lines. I mean, it's a simple sport to be able to commit and have a game, unlike baseball. Not easy to generate a baseball game like that.
Yeah.
Not easy to generate a football game like that. Not easy to generate a hockey game like that. No, basketball is just so easy generated, and that's why you fall in love with it. And look, these guys making a ton of money. They have a great life, but it's not all about that, man. It's about playing ball, man.
Yeah.
That's why they got to the point to where they sit now financially, is because of all the love that they put into the game. And the ultimate thing is to win. Like, they want to win, and they're going to try to put themselves in position. You got a champion in Kevin Durant that's, on this team, leading this team. Devin Booker has gone to a finals. So it's like they have the experience now. This is not about no experience, lack of experience. No, I know the bench is kind of green in that regard, right? You got a lot of guys that have been brought together, but I think you have quality, mature players that can add to this team that the Suns added to this roster. And so you should be excited. You should be excited for the season. I sometimes I sit up, man, and I'm not kidding you. Like, I look at these guys and I look at them working out all the time and all of that. And it's so funny because I remember I played 18 years professionally. For the life of me, I don't know how I did it. Like, I don't know how I did it. Like, when I watched them and I watched the energy that because when I was in it, I didn't realize the energy I was putting in, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And now when I watch it, I get tired watching it because, like, did I do that? Like, yeah. I mean, seriously, man. Yeah. Like, the way I trained, and I didn't have a trainer. I trained on my own. Like, the way I trained and then just playing till I was 18, playing through injury, knowing I was getting older, still pushing myself to play. Man, I just don't know how I did it. I'm serious. I don't. And they don't either. Like, they don't understand because of the love that they have for the game. It pushes them forward.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. When you're out of the game, you're like, man, please, I wouldn't want anything to do with that. And I haven't. I played 1 or 2 years after I retired, and I haven't touched the basketball since.
So, I know you work out every day, but obviously we're talking about different kinds of workouts when you're talking about NBA workouts. Do you ever miss the NBA workout, like just, the drills and working on your shot and all those things?
I miss getting better, man. Yeah, I miss getting in the gym and just competing. That's the one part I do miss. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't miss what I had to do to myself to get to the point of competing at a high level. Like, I had to get up. I'd get up, ride my bike 12, 13 miles, get off. I'd run 2-3 miles. I'd run sprints, get on my bike, go to the YMCA. That was my home up there on Shea in Scottsdale. In Scottsdale, people, if you want to go look at the Museum of Eddie at the YMCA.
Oh my God, the Museum of Eddie.
I go to the Y. I work out with 50-something-year-olds, and here I am, like in my late 20s and 30s. I enjoyed that environment. They had a gym. I go in the gym. They knew when I went in there, nobody else was coming in there. I go in there and get my workout in. I get on my bike, ride back home. I'm done. And you're talking 5 to 6 hours later, every day. And I enjoyed doing it because I knew the result of what I was doing was going to be positive once I got between the lines.
Yeah.
And that's what pushed me. But, when you sit back now and you're done and you're watching it, you're like, damn, did I do that?
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy, man.
When you so your last season in the NBA was with the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
When you were done with that season, did you know you were done? Or were you still like maybe hoping that you would stick around one more year or whatever?
I mean, I had to be honest with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, I knew I was in trouble because there were just certain instances on the court that I just could not compete.
Mm-hmm.
I could not move. I could not do some things. And I wasn't mentally tired. My body just started to change. No matter what I did, I could just see my body starting to change. And me knowing that, and then obviously my role changing and not playing as much, people looking at me differently, that part got to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what makes it difficult. But I could have played 2-3 more years. I had teams trying to sign me after I left Houston, and I was 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said, no, I can't do it.
Mm.
I just mentally, I just would not be able to do it. And so you get to that point.
It's funny. So you and I have two obviously way different experiences playing basketball because you played professionally. I did not. I think that's the one thing that I would say that I miss is that for me, I didn't know the last time would be the last time. So I played in junior college at South Mountain Community College, and the last game we had was against Arizona Western, and I remember it vividly. In the first half, I played, and then me and the coach got into it because we got into it all the time because the coach was kind of an idiot. I sat the bench basically the whole second half, but I had a scholarship to go to Sonoma State up in a Division II school up in Northern California. I got up there, things didn't work out. I came back, I tore my ACL, playing pickup ball, and that was essentially it.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that I always think about is just like I didn't realize that like team sports meant so much.
Yep.
And I didn't appreciate it at that time. But because it was basically taken away at that moment, like that was it. And then I joined the military a year later, and that's all she wrote. And
it hurts. No, it hurts.
Yeah,
too, man.
yeah. And I would say that's the number one thing. I loved going to the gym. I loved going to the park. Kiwanis Park. Shout out to Tempe. Every night when it, in the summer when it was 100 degrees outside, but it was at night, so you can tolerate it a little bit more and go out there and work out. But I just loved playing, working out, working on your shot. Like it was an obsession almost. You know what I mean? And so it's cool to see these guys get together and do this, a month plus before the season, before training camp even opens up.
They have to though. So that's the other key, right? Like it's nothing like NBA shape. It's a lot of levels of basketball. It's nothing. The shape that you're in when you're playing in the NBA and you're going that 82 game plus marathon, your body is at pristine shape. Like it's the feeling, that is the one thing I miss, right? I could never get that again. Like no matter what I do, like working out, doing all the stuff that I even try to do, I will never get to that pristine feeling when I played in the league. Your body, I'm telling you, is like a freaking machine, man. It is at the highest level. And those guys, they love that and they crave that because they understand they have to get there. And whatever they fall back to when they have their off season and maybe they're not doing it as much, they know it's difficult to get back to it. So that's why they get an early jump on it to see if they can get back to it before training camp starts and not during training camp.
Are you saying this because you've tried to find like something that would match it?
As soon as I was done. When I was done playing, I tried to match it, right? I got back to still riding my bike. I took some classes, exercise classes. I was going every day. But the other additive that you have to add to all of that is actually being on the court and running up and down, playing at NBA level, not going to the Y messing around, right? NBA level, where you're trying to keep up with that speed. It's not like you got a fast car and all of a sudden you downgrade and you think you can still run up against a Porsche and stay there with it.
Yeah.
No, not happening. Okay, no, you downgraded, and that's exactly what happens. And it's a scary feeling. You become a hypochondriac, calling the doctor all the time, because what happens is your body starts to change because your body is craving the push.
Yeah.
And now you're not pushing your body, and your body is like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? And so now the aches and pains that were masked because you were in such great shape, all of a sudden now take over because you're not masking it with being in great shape. And all of a sudden you start to feel stuff, man. And like, what is that? And it gets worse. Like, it's like a downhill spiral. It's almost like coming off drugs. Never been on drugs, but you hear the stories, right?
Sure. Yeah,
it's like coming off drugs. That's exactly what it is, man. And it's not a good feeling at all. It's weird.
Yeah, well, tried living that for the last 25 years. It's man, that's great perspective. Like, I've never really heard that in terms of, like, obviously we know our bodies break down as we get older, but it's a little bit different when you're talking about peak performance and then getting that taken away and having to adjust your body. That's wild, man. Yeah. Please hit that like button. Thanks, Perplex Damage. She says, hit the fans of fans of the wisdom. It's true. My man's full of it. And Perplex Damage gave us a shout out to him. He gave us the recommendation to talk about trash talk and who some of the best Suns trash talkers would be. And we're going to talk about not only that, but also the NBA. But Eddie, yesterday, I will fully admit that I completely fucked up. But this is the graphic of who I have listed as the top 8 trash talkers in the NBA. As you can see, there's a glaring omission here. And I had this to kind of defend myself.
How did you leave your buddy Eddie Johnson off your list? This better be on Outside Shots on Thursday, because Eddie is going to eviscerate Saul and show him what true trash talking is.
I can't tell if he's like excited for it or if that's like I immediately regret this.
I think he forgot.
No, number one, I did forget. Number two, I get shit talked by Eddie every single week. It's not anything new, so I'm not worried about Eddie.
No.
Eddie,
you're not worried about
Eddie, I fully admit that I screwed that up, and you should have been in the top at least 2 or 3. And so, yeah,
I don't think anybody talked better trash than I did.
Really?
Oh no,
you don't see. So
not within the Suns. So not in the Suns uniform. No.
So this is one of the things I said. So let's bring up the list again, Emma. My list. So one of the things that I made sure of was that these guys not only talked on the court, but I feel like they would back it up. Maybe Chris Paul not so much, but and everybody had Charles like 2 or 3 on their list. They had Devin Booker actually at the top in most of these lists. And I did not agree with that, because Charles talking shit in his era, he had to back it up because dudes would fight you on the court. Whereas in today's NBA, you don't really have that as much. Dudes aren't really trying to throw down. You know what I mean? Charles fought Shaq, for crying out loud. Like, he was about that life. So I felt like it was a little bit of a different era. It's same thing with you.
Yeah, but it's a balance though, Saul, because like you can talk junk, but not be belligerent to the point where the guy actually wants to fight. Like me and X, man, we used to talk junk all the time.
I had him on my list.
Yeah, we used to talk all the time. When he played in Seattle and I played with the Suns, seriously, we go back and forth. It never led to a fight. Was he capable of wanting to fight somebody? Yeah, he got into fights. Did I want to fight? No. If I had to fight, yes, I would have. Okay, without a doubt. He would have found out that I'm not easy pickings. Okay, so, but I wasn't always looking. The result of me talking trash was not that the guy would get so ticked off he'd want to fight me, because I would never I wouldn't say nothing about his mama. I said something about. I think I said something to X like that because he was just going really belligerent. And I remember I went up over and I shot a jumper, and I jumped so high. I remember the shot like he was here. And I looked down at him as I was shooting. I was like, yo, mama, shot. Because he ticked me off, because I think he had hit me with an elbow to play before. But normally when I talk junk, it was more basketball engaged, meaning like I walk past the bench I remember the time that I had dropped 43.5 on the Clippers, and I walked past Gene's shoe, and if people want to see it, and because I'm not embellishing.
Wait, you had 43.5?
Yeah.
Against the Clippers?
Yes.
Whew.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's on YouTube. You can find it out. You can look at it. You can find it. But Gene Shue was the coach, and he had been running in, like, only had 2 points at halftime. So I had 45 total. Only had 2 at half, 43
Damn.
in the second half.
Okay.
So I was walking past their bench, and he was trying to run in different defenders on me to guard me. Danny Manning, then he had Charles Smith. He had Gondrzak. He played for the Suns, I think. I mean, he was running all kind of people in. And I finally went past the bench. I said, Gene, I worn out all of them. So where you gonna go, to CBA to get somebody else? That pissed him off. I mean, he put guys in to try to hurt me. So that was the kind of stuff. Like Jerry Sloan, I walked past Utah bench. I'm like, Jerry, seriously, is it gonna be this easy for me tonight? What? Get somebody in here to guard me, man. And I'm by their bench. So get somebody in here to guard me. They're all looking at me. They would be laughing because it wasn't like, it was really like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, it's kind of like fun in a sense. Only one time did I make a mistake, and I apologize for it. One time. Lonnie Shelton. You all can look up Lonnie Shelton. Look him up. You'll see how big he was. We were playing in Cleveland. And Lonnie was a good defender. And that's why I was talking junk to him. But I was wearing his ass out. It wasn't nothing he can do. I mean, I'm just throwing up jump, and people that know that about me, they always think I was just a jump shooter. Uh-huh. No. I had stuff. I would get to the rim, and I'd left hand throw stuff up, it goes in. That was part of my game. And I'm just throwing stuff up on him because he's trying to take the jump away. And Lenny Wilkins took him out. And I walked past the bench. I said, Lenny, if you put that fat on me again, I'm going to destroy him again. Uh-oh. And I pointed at him.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
His teammates started laughing. And for about 5 plays, I ran up and down the court. And I would look over at their bench, and he would be on the bench. He'd be like, and so I told LaSalle Thompson, who was my bodyguard, I said, Tank, he gonna try to hurt me when he get back in, man. I'm just telling you, man. That dude, look at him. He wasn't even watching the game.
He was just watching you.
He was watching me.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Man, this dude got back in the game. I felt a whiff go past my head. He literally tried to knock me out with his elbow because he had the ball and I was in the vicinity. And I was like, I got out the way. Then another time down, he tried to come set a screen, and I could just see him just motoring at me. He didn't care if it was offensive foul or not. I kind of fell down out the way. And I looked at him. And so I got a rebound the last time, and he just whacked me. He just came across my head, just whacked me. And I played it off. And so we on the free throw line, we standing next to each other. And I turned to him. I said, Lonnie. He said, what, Mo? I said, I'm sorry, man. I apologize. I went a little too far. I said, you know how I am. You know I respect your game, man. I apologize. This is during the game.
No shit.
Man, look. And he looked at me. He said, okay, we good now. Let's go. And we played.
And that was it?
That was it. I'm telling you, man.
Wow.
He scared me, man. That is the only time playing basketball that in the NBA where, Charles Oakley went at me one time. He told me, Eddie, don't you hit me anymore. I swear I'm going to knock your ass in the stands. And I said, all right, Charles, we good.
Because Charles
nobody wanted Charles liked me, though, but I don't think Charles would have hit me.
Yeah.
He and I had a good relationship, man. Mm-hmm. He always went out his way to speak to me and my family. I don't think he would have hit me, But Lonnie, man, yeah, it didn't stop me from talking junk.
Yeah.
Larry Bird taught me how to talk junk, man.
Yeah.
I get in guys' heads, man. I felt sorry one time for a guy, Malik Sealy, who's not here anymore. And, he got that
Malik
injury
Sealy.
early in his career, got, in a car accident and lost his life. But his rookie year, I was in Indiana, and I'm just punking him. I'm hitting him, throwing him all over the court, talking junk to him. How did you get in the league, dude? Like, really? Man, I'm just throwing you everywhere, man. You got any heart in you? What's wrong with you? He wouldn't say a word.
Uh-huh.
And I went to the bench, and I felt so bad, man. I was like, man, this dude not even talking back, man. And I just watched him, and he was struggling. I got back on the court. I was with free throw line. Everybody was down there, and I purposely went down to the other end where he was. I said, Malik, hey, man, I was just messing with you. But don't you ever let anybody do what I just did to you, man.
Yeah.
For 3 minutes. Dude, you can play. And he just looked at me. He said, man, I got respect for you, man. You're a veteran, man. I grew up watching you.
I mean,
I could have cried on the court. I mean, I say, man, we good, man. Trust me. We're good, dude. I was just messing with you. And I mean, so you have to be careful with it. But, man, yeah. Try it, man. It was, you got to get in people's head. I get in your head before the show every time.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me, you talked about Larry Bird. Was he the best trash talker you've ever come across?
Best. Not
because
close.
he did it in different levels, right?
Well, I don't know about different levels. He didn't care. My rookie year, I walk out for the jump ball. I'm like, okay. The veterans warned me. Say, Eddie, don't listen to him. Just ignore him. I go out for the jump ball in Boston Garden. Cotton starts me. And I'm just sitting there. I'm trying to not, and he walks out on the court, and he just walks out, and he leans over his knees, and he just looks at me. He didn't say a word. He just looked. And I noticed he was looking, but I didn't want to look back at him. So the officials, something happened with the clock, so they had to go back and do something with the clock. And I'm like, and he finally stands up and he looks over at Cott. Hey, Cott, are you serious? It's quiet. And Boston goes, are you serious? And Cott was just looking at, you got the audacity to put this MF on me? And he looks at me, I am going to destroy you. All the players are around the circle and they just laughing. I'm just like, he said, I am going to destroy you. How dare you come out here and think you're going to guard me? I was like, officials, would you hurry up and get out? So finally, I had enough. Like, I'm from Chi-Town, man. I ain't taking that, man. Finally, he kept talking. I turned him. I said, well, MF, bring it. Just bring it then. I'm not going anywhere. I guarantee you that. I'm not going anywhere.
That's when he knew.
And he just wore my ass out.
That's when he knew.
No, he wore me out. I'm like, are you kidding me? Man, wore me out. I got the best of him about 3 weeks later, though, but he wore me out. 3 weeks later, he came to Kansas City, and he started that same stuff. I said, I got something for you this time. Don't worry about it. So during the game, I had it going. He was wearing me out too, obviously, but I had it going. And I said, I'm going to get his butt. Gave him an up fake, and he went up for it. Pop! Hit him and laid it in. Bust his mouth. And we're on the free throw line. And he said, okay, all right. We got that. We got that going now too, right? I didn't say nothing to him. Shot the first free throw. Second free throw, he kind of delayed it because he went in after the free throw and held the ball. And that's what they'll do. Held the ball, and he looked at an official asking for it. He took his time, and he threw it to the official. And then he looks at me, say, you can't guard nobody. You can't defend nobody. All you can do is score. I say, but I can bust your damn mouth. Look at you bleeding. And he didn't like that. He came in the locker room after the game. And I'm like, okay, something's going to jump off here. He walks over to Jerry Reynolds, who was at Indiana State when he was there. Walks over to him like he talking to Jerry. He wasn't talking to Jerry. He leaves Jerry, walks back past me. I'm ready to get up and go because I don't know what he's going to do. He reaches into his pocket, throws me his keys. Why don't you meet me at the hotel tonight? We can finish it. And I was like, yeah, right. And Parrish and Mikhail gonna be around the corner ready to help your ass. And he looked at me and he started laughing. And he said, I like you. And he left out. True story.
Oh man, Larry Bird.
That's
man.
a true story,
Larry
man.
Bird.
I mean,
That's
that
crazy.
dude, man, he taught me to art. Every time I see him after that, I said, man, you taught me. Just be playing against you and how you talk to people. It was just, you remember he talked to Dr. J like that. Dr. J punched him.
Oh, I have a picture of that. I still have the picture in my house right now.
Yeah.
It's
He's
crazy.
man, nonstop, man. But nobody would know it but you and him
Mhm.
or a few teammates. He wasn't like these guys today. They all into the crowd and doing that. No.
Yeah.
He just literally would just whisper to you and tell you what he's doing to you.
That's the worst kind
Yeah.
because it's like psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Like, y'all hear this? No, nobody can hear it. It's just you and me.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, after a story like that, you probably need some OGs just to get your mind right again. Listen, OGs is the best edible in the game. OGsbrands.com. Check it out. You can check that out for your closest dispensary near you. So you can go check out the fruits, the creams, all the yummy gummies that you could ever want. You got the RSOs, the Happy Balance, I should say, which is the 1-to-1 THC CBD ratio, so on and so forth. Tremendous edibles. You got the indicas, sativas. Check them out, ogsbrands.com. And remember, you must be over the age of 21 to enjoy. And right now, if you use promo code PHNX, you can do any online order for the Flower Shop and save up to 15% on your edibles. So that's terrific. There you go. All right, EJ, we talked about working out earlier, and we talked about the team, but I was kind of curious. Again, this is kind of a palate cleanser.
Mhm.
I was kind of curious if you were if you were an athlete right now, would your Instagram game be up to par? Would you be posting videos of you working out? Would you be
No.
that kind of dude?
No.
No?
I was very secretive of what I did. If somebody wanted to work out with me, fine. But I never posted. I wouldn't have posted anything like that. No. I just wouldn't have. I might have talked junk like on X, but I would not have been showing videos. No.
Okay. All right. I was just kind of curious because a lot of guys post
They do.
post
Well,
workouts.
Well, they
but,
know how to market themselves. I mean,
Well,
and that's part of marketing too.
But the problem with it is it's kind of fooled the public into thinking if you're not posting those kind of workouts, then are you working out? Because they can't see it, which is the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
It's dumb. It's dumb. I didn't care. I didn't want people to see what I was doing. Why? I want something that I want to surprise you with.
Yeah.
I don't want to. No, not at all.
Okay. Again, it was just a topic. I was kind of curious. I was like, I see all these Instagram videos of all these people, and I was wondering if
Well,
what
you know what a
thought
lot of
about
that is. A lot of that is insecurity.
Insecurity,
It's
absolutely.
just insecurity, man, and that's why they do it. It's like they're not getting enough attention. They just want some more. But then too, it's marketing. Like these guys, the one thing I'll say about these young guys, they're a lot smarter than we were when we played. They're a little bit more engaged with their money. They understand investment angles. It's just, and rightly so. You're supposed to be better at it, right? I mean, the schooling is better than it was when we went to school, especially when I went to school. So
you went to Illinois though, so of course
No,
everything
well-
was
well-
better than that.
Yeah, really, Illinois is one of the top universities in the country,
Okay.
and yours truly got his degree in 4 years
All right.
in history. One of the most difficult curriculums because you got to read.
History is?
Oh, you got to? Are you kidding me? You got to read.
Well, you got to read, period.
No. Hold up.
Because I got to.
No. You didn't let me finish it. You didn't let me finish it. I guarantee you weren't reading 10 books a class.
Okay.
If I was taking 5 classes, I'm reading 10 books a freaking semester. I guarantee you that. And I'm talking about these kind of books. You weren't doing that, pal. Guarantee you.
No, because everything was
And
online.
most of our tests, they weren't multiple choice either. We had to do essays, okay? We had to freaking do IDs. We had to take tests based on our memory, Okay, that stuff not easy. You just go to class, take a little multiple choice test, and probably go looking over at your friend's paper. Hey man, what's that? Is that A or B?
Oh my God.
If you're taking a history test, you can't cheat. Think about it. You can't. How can you? Because somebody's gonna give you the answer. They literally have to like talk to you through it. Like, yeah, this ID, man. Yeah, this such and such. He did this. He's from this era. Blah blah blah. How you gonna cheat? Multiple choice? Yeah. You just
I don't know.
In history, you can't. You got to write an essay. How you going to cheat doing an essay in a test? I'm over here writing an essay. Well, somebody going to be like, copying every essay word I got? No, that's plagiarism.
Emma,
no.
you are going to school right now as we speak, finishing up her bachelor's degree.
No, engineering is
different. Whoa.
Engineering is different.
You said
one of the most difficult.
Okay, but let me ask this question though. One of the most. Emma, how many multiple choice quizzes, tests have you ever had in school?
Well, that's math. Okay, she's an engineer. I said,
oh my God, she has to take more subjects than just engineering.
No, but those subjects she's taking are just basic subjects that just lead her to engineering.
Again, did you have to take multiple choice questions?
I had to take history as a major.
You have to take multiple choice questions, but there's also like the written question. It's just like a part
of combination.
It's a combination.
Yeah. Right.
It's a part
but in history, it was more so the essays and the written stuff. Okay, barely when you got past your junior senior year, you were doing freaking multiple choice tests. Okay, in history, barely. Okay, you had to learn how to use your mind and your memory. Engineering is one of the most difficult curriculums known to man. So I'm not saying that history was better.
I mean, you said history was one of the most difficult.
One of them because it's laborious. I'm not saying it's like difficult to like you would be able to do it. I'm saying laborious, like takes up your time.
No, sure.
That's what I mean. Okay,
right.
Not saying that
it's time consuming.
Yes,
I got you.
Without a doubt.
All right.
Yes.
I was like,
and I didn't have time. I'm playing ball. I'm getting up, going to practice at 7 a.m, then got to go to class. Then after that, I got practice, then got study hall. And I'm fatigued. Mm-hmm. You went to class, you're sleeping all day.
My God, the slander. Slander. What do you mean sleeping all day?
You getting up. What the fuck do you think? I mean, I ain't getting you up that early. Nah, not at the small school you went to. Y'all would probably
the small school I went to. What are you talking about? I went to the University of Arizona.
Well, you didn't play ball.
Kansas State University.
You didn't play ball at Arizona. So when you went to Arizona, you wasn't playing ball. You sleep all day.
Yeah, but he was covering ball.
Yeah,
he was covering what? He wasn't running. He wasn't tired and fatigued.
He was still up.
Listen,
with them.
I'm not going to defend when I was a student athlete at South Mountain Community College because I didn't really take school seriously at that point, and the classes were kind of a joke anyway. So no disrespect to South Mountain Community College. It's a tremendous institution, but at the time I was there, I did not give a shit about anything. So it was a little different.
You were basically on a cane when you went to school to Arizona. You were 20 years older than I am. You were 30-something years old when you went to Arizona. You was on a cane.
I was 34.
People were walking you across the street.
Oh, my God, Eddie. Eddie, if they're walking me across the street, what are they doing with you?
No, I know that. I'm saying, but I was at Illinois in my 20s. I was sprinting across the street.
Oh my God! I was literally 10 years older than you when you went to college.
You were in Arizona in your 30s, man. They were helping you across the street, man.
Oh my God!
You cannot tell me them kids wasn't saying "sir."
No, they weren't, because they looked at me as one of their peers. Because I'm cool like that, folks. That's just what it is.
Hey, sir.
My goodness.
The teachers was calling you sir. Sir, what do you want to do?
No, Jesus. All right. Well,
I applaud you for going back to school.
Well, that leads us into our next subject because Eddie's leaving again. So thank God. He's going on vacation.
Going to Chicago.
Are you going to Chicago?
Yeah, I'm going to Chicago for a couple of days. I just go in and dart out. I'm going down to Indiana, the golf tournament. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Any special occasion?
Mike Woodson's golf tournament is down there, so I get a chance to go see my boy. No, not about Chicago. I should stay an extra day and watch the Bears opener, but I'm not. I'm just gonna come back here.
Okay. All right. Well, the Cubs are gonna be here.
I know. That's why I'm coming back.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm coming back.
Are we going to the game?
I didn't tell everybody that's why I was coming back a day early.
Are we going to the game?
The 9th and the 10th, right? They play what? They play
Yeah,
7th.
I think it's next weekend.
Yeah, you gotta get us tickets. You got me tickets?
You can get us tickets.
Well, I can get tickets too.
There you go. All right, see how that works. All right. Well, listen, that's going to be a fun series because both teams are in the playoff race.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us on another episode of Outside Shots. We'll be back again next week at some point, either Wednesday or Thursday, I assume,
Yes, sir.
early in the morning. These will be the normal times from now on, 8:30 in the morning, because EJ likes to, wake
Get up early,
at the,
man. I got things to do.
Yeah, he wants to go early. So we accommodate him because that's what we do for all our guests. Thanks to Emma for producing this. As always, you can follow my guy on Twitter. I'm always going to call it Twitter.
Jump Shot 8.
Yep.
Instagram, Jump Shot 8.
And then listen to a show every day, 1 to 4.
Sirius XM, NBA Today Show. All right. Pacific time, because we're here Pacific time right now. 1 to 4 every day, 3 hours a day. My co-host Justin Termini is back off vacation. If you want to hear some people scream at each other, tune in today. It's going to be really loud.
There you go. You can follow me on Twitter at Saul_Bookman. I'm going to throw EJ my keys because we're going to go meet in the back.
Why is the
we'll see you till
underscore
later.
there? There's a lot of